welcome to Movie World. I'm Robert Waldman. Today, we're going to Gangstaland, the movie from 1973, one of the best crime tales ever, Mean Streets, directed by the one and only Martin Scorsese. And this is really, I think, his breakout film. Before Mean Streets, Scorsese did some other films. For example, he did Boxcar Bertha a year earlier in 1972. But 1973, I think, marks his high mark as a director because he's working with two of the best actors in the business who have become lifelong friends and also pivotal characters in upcoming Scorsese movies. For example, 3 years later, Martin Scorsese would direct Robert De Niro in his, I guess, patented role, Taxi Driver. Remember that shocker? Well, let me tell you a little bit about Mean Streets. It's all about four crooks that congregate at a New York, Manhattan bar. It's a restaurant owned by two of them, and it's a bar. And this is the 1970s, the early 1970s, situated in Little Italy. And these gangsters were on the move. They were, punks in a way, but stylish. Robert De Niro's character, he plays Johnny Boy. And I think if you watch this movie, you'll see De Niro, the seeds of a great career being sown right here. And I think his role in Taxi Driver is really a continuation of his portrayal of this crazy wild gangster who's just completely out of control, and he's the live wire in this piece. As a matter of fact, you could say Johnny Boy is on the outs with one of the mobsters in his gang of four, namely Tony. Tony, you see, is owed money by Johnny Boy, and that's not a good thing. Johnny Boy has a good friend, a relative in Charlie, who's really the nicest guy of that gang of four. And he's played in a wonderful performance by Harvey Keitel. And it's poignant, it's sympathetic, and he tries to intervene between these two friends. And it's not a pretty sight. I can't say enough about Harvey Keitel. For some reason, Robert De Niro is given first billing on Mean Streets, which is unusual in my opinion. A few years earlier, 6 years earlier I should say, Scorsese directed Harvey Keitel in a movie called I'll Call First. So you could say the relationship between Keitel and Scorsese is longer, predates that between Scorsese and Robert De Niro, who will go on to bigger and great things. One of the things I like about Martin Scorsese is that he knows mobsters, and he's got that Italian, I guess, heritage, and he's very good at creating the atmosphere of the mob mentality. Mean Streets has some very strong scenes, including some violent assaults and confrontations, but it's all as if it actually is happening for real. That's how authentic this movie is. And it's wonderful performances, and you get to see really three top film personalities honing their craft: Scorsese, De Niro, and Keitel. And I like the fact that Scorsese works with actors that he's worked with before, and he continues to cast them and recast them. He also, in this movie, features Robert and David Carradine. So you can see he's got a good track record of supporting his friends. Mean Streets was actually produced by Warner Brothers. Scorsese wrote and co-wrote the script for this movie from his story, but it only cost $500,000, which I guess in those days was a lot of money. Today, all the name actors get huge money, much more money than that paltry sum of $1973. But I really want to say that if you like gangster movies, if you want to see mob connections and mob friendships and real characters being developed, I think you're going to get a real kick out of Mean Streets. It's certainly one of the best crime stories of all time, which is why on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this movie a 9. Really enjoyed it. It's gritty, it's got a great atmosphere, and really worth your time. Thank you for watching. Robert Waldman for Movie World. Hope to see you soon.